Mark Selby, third in the world rankings. He's won 3 titles this season, 2 carrying ranking points, the British and Welsh Opens, up against Jimmy Robertson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first frame, Jimmy Robertson to break.
A really good run early season in the new ranking event in Saudi Arabia. He got to the quarterfinals, so got a lot of points from that, and has done enough since then to get into this event. He beat Mark Allen yesterday, 4-2. Was the stronger player from 2 each there. But he's never beaten Mark Selby. It's 10-0 on the head-to-head to Selby. You know, we see one-sided head-to-heads, but that really is pretty dramatic. We've seen similar, haven't we, with Judd Trump, Chris Wakelin. I think that's now 14-0 to Trump. And, you know, you can't just be dismissed. It clearly is going to be in the minds of both players, particularly Jimmy.
Yeah, I've not checked this, Dave, but back in the day, I'm sure the late, great Terry Griffiths had never beaten Stephen Hendry, wasn't it? I don't think that was a pretty... didn't make great viewing if you're Terry.
I think it was 17-0 to Stephen.
Yeah, amazing. And Terry, the Griff, was one of the great players as well. It's just... Stephen was just better, basically. Simple as that.
Foul.
It's one of those, you kind of know the enough might happen, so if you hit it harder, you hope that cube will just rattle in the jaws. Yeah, I mean, on the head-to-head, look, it's not good reading, but one of the closest things to Selby is the man who he beat yesterday, Mark Allen, you know. And so, one thing about Jimmy Robertson, when he's good, he can be really quite dazzling as a player. He's a bit inconsistent. But he can pot and he can score.
Yeah, great red. It's only his 8th quarter-final in a ranking tournament. But, of course, he has won a ranking tournament, the European Masters 2018.
Such a difficult shot, that, you know, to...
8.
generate enough cue speed to make that ball go into the bunch and do so with any real pace. Now, I think if Jimmy Robertson plays well and, you know, plays with the same freedom that we saw yesterday, then he's definitely in with some sort of a chance. Clearly Selby's favourite.
Well, got so close to it, of course, the red has stayed in the jaws. It would be some company, wouldn't it, for Jimmy to be in if he could reach the quarterfinals. We've already got 5 world champions. We're guaranteed one of the winners this season, Zhao Guodong or Lei Pei Fan. And we'll see who comes through between Bafai and Zhu Se. Still 3-2 there to Zhu Se, Bafai in front in the next.
8. No.
Well, he didn't really want to be top side of this, although some players do prefer being high on the black and then go into it from this angle. That's the problem. It sort of arcs into the reds from a wide angle.
16.
Could have worked out better unless there's a plant of any kind there. He's looking at something in the bunch. That's a bit of a complicated one, isn't it? 3-ball plant, maybe even 4-ball plant. I don't know how close together the last two reds are. If there's a gap between them, then there is everything up in the air on this shot. Very good. I don't think he really
17.
pinned all his hopes into it, judging by where the cue ball is. He was a little worried he'd miss it, but it was a good spot that it was there.
Well, it's a delicate shot, but not that delicate.
Jimmy Robertson, 17, Selby, 4. 3 ball.
Didn't actually get too close at all.
It always looks bad, but I can assure you, anyone that's ever played this game has done it. You know, done that, rolled up and finished short. It happens. When it happens, you don't feel great, really, because often you're playing out of your own snooker. Yeah, he's got to play out of his own snooker now, so it's a little bit sort of, well, it's not a nice feeling, let's just say that.
Self-inflicted. And I guess the concern is the Reds, you know, they're all out in the open now.
Foul and a miss. Selby, 4.
You could see what he was doing there, couldn't you? He wasn't really trying to hit that one. He was just trying to get a little bit of a kind of a guide. And I think you'll get closer this time. He was kind of way short of hitting it. But this time, if he can make the necessary adjustment, he might just clip it. Certainly closer.
Foul and a miss. Selby, 4.
Yeah, you're on the screen. Of course, it's a big arena, this, so the screens help the fans follow exactly what's happening. We'll see how many people are here at the weekend. There's Rob Walker, I heard saying before play that they're hopeful it's going to be virtually sold out. So that'd be a great atmosphere for the final because it's 5,000 plus capacity. Be a great occasion. Whoever is here, and all the signs are going to be potentially some of the biggest names. We'll see Jimmy Robertson, of course, looking to spring another upset and having knocked out Mark Allen yesterday. That must have been a real confidence booster. 36 in the current official world rankings. Did quite well actually last week at the World Open. He got to the last 16. Beat Noppen Senkam, Aaron Hill, lost to Tom Ford. But it's been quite a successful trip thus far to Asia.
Well, that's not good. That is
Foul
not good.
and miss.
I mean-
Selby 4.
Selby will certainly have a look at the red to the right corner. If it stops just shy of where it is there, then he will definitely have played it. There's a bit of an angle on this. Selby, the master of playing shots like this, where you know you would hope that if you do miss, you're not going to leave anything.
One.
Yeah, I mean, what was he leaving there? Very little, but it went in.
Seven.
Well, he certainly wasn't at his best yesterday, but he finds ways to win, and he did. Jackson Page didn't take his chances. You wouldn't be at all surprised if Selby played a lot better today.
8.
Just one half century all day yesterday, a 50 break in the first frame. Other than that, it was all a bit scrappy.
Fifteen. Sixteen.
If Mark Selby does win, then he'll be through to a 100th ranking event quarter-final. Judd Trump actually will be also on 100 tomorrow. There'll be 2 of only 6 players
23.
to have reached as many. And OK, there's no trophies for getting to quarter-finals, but it just shows remarkable consistency over the years.
24.
And also, it's a list you want to be on. You know, John Higgins, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Hendry, Mark Williams, the other 4.
He was a little fortunate, wasn't he, in his first match? Not so much just genuine luck, but he was lucky that when Jackson Page had a really good opportunity to beat him at 3-2, he just couldn't put it away. I think Jackson was really disappointed to have lost that match the way it had shaped up, but when push came to shove, Selby got there. Which might have given him the boost he needed, because, of course, he's made the trip to Asia. He was beaten
36.
early in the World Open. Might have come back without a win had he lost that match to Jackson Page. Now, of course, he'll be one of the men to beat.
37.
Now he's got over that.
Yeah, that British Open he won this season, the first 4 rounds there were all deciding frame wins for Selby. But by the time of the final against John Higgins, he was playing world-class snooker.
I think he's on the left-hand red. The frame was completely turned around
45.
this one, when Jimmy Robertson rolled up to the green and finished short. As I said earlier, it's something everybody has done, but it doesn't exactly make you brimming with confidence after that. Totally turned the frame.
Yeah, because of course he got him with the full ball plant, thus opening the reds. If he'd have got Selby nailed to the green, he would have been in serious trouble. But, well, we've seen
51.
how it's played out. Selby closing in on capturing the opening frame here.
52.
Just checking the scores. The black puts him 46 in front with 43 on. looking to become the 6th world champion to reach the quarterfinals
59.
here in Hong Kong. And what a delight that'll be for the audience for the remaining 3 days. I'm sure they've been watching these stars on TV for many years. Now they get the chance to see them in person. I know
60.
Selby did an autograph session as well yesterday. And indeed he took part, didn't he, on the first day with the opening ceremony as well. He doesn't think of himself as a star, Mark, but he is. He's one of the greats of the game. And he's proven it again, winning, as I say, 3 trophies already this season.
67. 68.
So there is enough on to open with a century.
Top spin and plenty of left-hand side on that to send the cue ball round the angles.
75. 77.
I mean, if you've got a 0 from 10 record against Mark Selby, you don't really want to start with the kind of frame we've had here from Jimmy Robertson. He looked really good until that one mistake. Because we don't know what's going to happen, but it's a slight worry, isn't it? If you lose a frame in that way at the start of a match of this kind, and then your opponent ends up making what looks to be a century now.
'84.
It would be his 57th of the season, Mark Selby. And he'd be tied second with Karen Wilson behind Judd Trump on 80 for the campaign.
89. 95.
So just 150 yesterday, but already in frame 1 here in the last 16 today. Mark Selby with a century, a clearance of 102 to take the opener. Continues on table 2. Here on table 1, Mark Selby's made 102 clearance to win the first frame against Jimmy Robertson. Well, Selby really rubbed it in, didn't he, in that first frame, the misfortune from Robertson failing to roll to the green. And Selby makes a century. One thing I will say, it's 10-0, yes, but they haven't actually played since the 2019 Scottish Open. That would have been December, so it has been a while. It's not like he's beating him every week.
Nicely played, and once again, the kind of shot where he's not going to lead very much, but it was really nicely judged for the black.
Eight. 9. 16. 17.
Yeah, not so easy to get onto a red from here. Those two reds on the left, I think one of them might go to the middle, but there's not much else. Yeah, clearly to the right middle, the top one of the two.
$24. 25.
Now the two reds, possible plant. I think there is a gap between the reds. If they're not in line, the gap is big enough to actually make them a plant. Sometimes when there's a small gap, you can't really move the balls off the straight line they're on. Ooh, but that was not part of the
Selby,
thought
25.
process. I don't even think he gave much consideration to the black, unlike Selby. And concentration, I think, on the plant, if it is indeed one.
One.
Selby missed a trick there, didn't he? Pretty regulation black off the spot.
Seven. Eight.
It's one of those shots, the harder you hit those, the wider the cue ball will swing.
15.
It was quite a big target, really, wasn't it? He'll be annoyed there.
Jimmy Robertson, 15.
Well, it was never going to reach, was it? And,
Mark Selby, 4.
You know, he could have this put back, Mark Selby, but deep down, I think he knows that eventually he will make contact, and that will be the end of the matter. If there's anything else he can do to pop one, he'll try it. I think he hit the wrong red first there. I think he hit a red on the way through to the one he was going to try and pot to middle. Well, that was unlucky, that was close. It's just that he had to push it in at quite a bit of pace at an acute angle. And this did everything but drop.
Just an update from table 2. Juicer, having failed to win 4-2, is 31 in front in the next with a pretty good scoring chance. And there'll be a good scoring chance in this frame soon. The reds are nicely spread for whoever gets in next. Selby's already made a century, of course.
Oh, that's a great shot then. There's obviously a route across to the right side, which is handy because it looked like it's going to be buried behind the yellow for a while with no shot. Well, normally Mark Selby has got the sort of the best snooker brain, I think, of them all for an escape from a position like this. Is not nice because all the reds in the middle of the table, you can't really play into those because you've got no real control over leaving it safe. He'd like to find a route to the bottom red, which is on the cushion. I'm not sure he can get to it. The red below the black is the one he would like to hit. Do you know what? I think he's tried to hit it.
Foul
See how
and
his
miss.
brain was
Jimmy
working
Robertson,
there.
7.
I get the feeling with Mark, if the shot is on, he'll probably locate it now. He had one sort of a, if you like, a practice go. Oh, he missed it on the other side. It's going to be going back again, isn't it?
Jimmy Robertson,
Jimmy
4.
might have a look at this red down the cushion, but I suspect he won't play it.
Back.
Brilliant escape, albeit it took him 3 goes, but, you know, Didn't even look like there was a path through to that red initially. Now, of course, if you're Jimmy Robertson, you might be thinking, well, maybe I could have tried to roll that red along the cushion the go before. He's horrified. He's had some problems laying delicate snookers, hasn't he, in this match already? Didn't reach the green in frame one, rolling up to it. Cost him. Problem he's got, Jimmy Robertson, he doesn't really want to get embroiled in a long tactical battle with Mark Selby. He's never beaten him at it before. And, of course, he'd like to attack him, but sometimes it's just not possible. You know, he's got to try and get himself in with, you know, long pots. A good scorer, Jimmy Robertson, when he's playing well. Selby, it seems, is the kind of player to put him out of his stride.
I think that's the thing playing Selby. I mean, you want to play the right shots, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I'm playing the master at this. It'll be an inviting table, though, as I say, wherever can get in. Double kiss. So Jimmy Robertson does get a chance. A good one.
One.
Well, he's going to have to do something significant here because it is a good chance. You know, really good opportunity. The Reds, not one of them is safe. High value colours all in play. What a chance.
5.
Yeah, he didn't have the best season last year, and he only actually made 9 centuries the whole campaign.
10.
He's already made more than that this year, 13. That Riyadh event, it was early
11.
season, and it was huge prize money, same prize money effectively as the World Championship. He got to the quarterfinals there. He beat Karen Wilson, he beat John Higgins. It was a good run before Mark Williams beat him 6-0. Got £50,000 and, of course, ranking points from that tournament. So he was always a favourite to be in the World Grand Prix. Well, not a nice kiss.
18.
To say the least.
And then what a place to end up. It's frightening to finish there, actually. I mean, he might be able to pot that red he's closest to, but he's got no centre ball striking of it. It's a horrid shot And especially when you know you shouldn't be left there. You might have to use left-hand side on it. It's just nasty, this shot completely. It's a brilliant shot to recover. He's unlucky to be on the cushion, so he's got to play another not so easy shot to keep this break going. He did well. That was a really awkward little shot to be playing. But look where he's finished. Black virtually straight from the side cushion. Pink to middle, across the nap of the cloth. I mean, these aren't nice. He's got to drop it in. Not a nice shot. Well, two really good shots in a row there, and that should make him feel better. He's recovered the situation ever so well.
25.
Well, that's a rare safety error from Selby getting that double kiss that set up the chance. Jimmy Robertson just looking to keep nice control here, and it's surely going to be one each.
It seemed destined that he would miss that red that he was really close to into the right corner because of the whole sort of backstory to how he got there. So
34.
Pleased for Jimmy Robertson that he didn't, because it wouldn't have been a good sign for what's to come in the match, quite honestly. Almost there.
41.
Red colour, because it's probably not going to be anything too low value anyway. Likely to be the blue. But then another red after that, guaranteed.
42.
Yeah, you've got to absolutely nail down the frame against Mark Selby, and surely this red will do that.
47.
Be feeling good, of course, having beaten Mark Allen, and also just the nature of where he's ranked. He spends a lot of time on sort of outside tables, a little under the radar in tournaments. What an opportunity to come here to Hong Kong to play someone like Selby in one of the biggest arenas he'll ever have played in, probably the biggest. So you've got to try and grasp the opportunity.
Fifty-four. 59.
Yeah, he's obviously playing well, isn't he? Like you say, that win yesterday and a good, well, half-decent run last week. Shan?
64.
I think he's got the game, as I was saying earlier, you know, his best form can beat a lot of good players. You know, he's had good wins against the likes of John Higgins before in big events.
68.
Just not beating the man he's playing today, but that's the first time for everything. Been a good break. He's done well.
73.
Yeah, he's kept it going nicely. And he's just got some good table time here,
79.
settling into this match. So Selby 102 clearance in the opening frame, and one of 86 from
86
Jimmy Robertson in the second
Jimmy Robertson.
to level the match at 1 each. It's been high quality so far between these two for the target, remember, for a place in the quarterfinals. 1-1 between Mark Selby and Jimmy Robertson, last match of the day here on table 1. Playing for a place in the quarterfinals and meeting with Stuart Bingham on Friday here at the World Grand Prix. On the other table, they're on the colours. Juicer and Hussain Vafai 3-3. Just 12 in it, and Juicer is snookered on the yellow. Hussain has put him in the snooker. So very tense over there. Judd Trump awaiting the winner of that one.
Well, he wanted to make a thin contact, but as you saw, he missed them all together on the way up and hit them on the way back. He just pushed that red out. Touching ball's not really helping him because he doesn't want to play safe. It just means he's got awkward queuing on this red because he's so close to the other one. Deciding in the end not to attempt the red to middle. It was awkward queuing, I think. And so we did leave that on from the previous shot.
1.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy chances arm here, took the yellow on to middle, has to get it, of course. Very well done.
Now, meanwhile, drama on table 2. Hussain Vafai and Juicer right down to the wire.
3.
Vafai just potted the blue, couldn't get on the pink. He needs the pink, and Juicer needs them both to win that match. Juicer missed the brown, though, in the last frame, literally match ball brown to win 4-2, and was in front in the decider as well. So the nerves have descended on that match.
Eleven. $12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where from the pink he can get his next red. The 2 reds are not a plant. So he's playing it with right-hand side, trying to get round into the bunch. It's always a nice shot to see played, but difficult. He's gone round the back. You've really got to get lots of right-hand side on that. So he hits the first cushion and goes across and
17.
directly into the bunch of 2 cushions.
Jimmy Robertson, 17.
Well, that was a mile away, goodness. If anything will maybe inspire your opponent is seeing them miss one like that.
One.
I think it was certainly important for Robertson that he made the most of that chance in the last frame, rather than sort of winning it in, you know, 3 or 4 visits. He made a nice 86 just to get involved in the match, get involved in the conditions, and show Selby that, you know, he's playing well. I'm sure Mark Selby knew that anyway, seeing the Mark Allen result.
Seven. Eight.
Jimmy Robertson coming up to his 39th birthday in May, but he actually turned professional initially in 2002. He was only 16. He won a junior playoff at Prestat, and it was a way then of getting on tour to try and sort of fast-track the youngsters. He was relegated after his first season.
15.
In those days, he didn't get a 2-year card. Had a couple of spells on and off, but obviously the big breakthrough is winning that European Masters back in 2018, a world ranking event.
Ah, nice shot. Nice recovery. Yeah, I mean, I think in those days it was virtually
16.
impossible to stay on with a 1-year card, wasn't it? You know, it just didn't have a chance. So many players fell off the tour in that way.
Yeah, because there are only 7 or 8 tournaments. It's not like now, where, I mean, there's 18 ranking events this season. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It was very tough. Judd Trump, the first season, he turned pro. He actually did stay on, but he only had 6 tournaments to play in.
21.
You know, he could have been lost to the game for a couple of years, potentially. Thankfully now, you know, you get that 2-year card guaranteed.
22.
This is pretty good stuff from Jimmy Robertson.
27.
Now, meanwhile, the drama continues next door. This is Vafai. He needs the pink for victory. What a remarkable tournament it's been for him. He wasn't in it initially. Ronnie O'Sullivan withdrew. He got the call-up. He won an unlikely victory yesterday against Sejar Wee. He's won another today against Jussa. So Hossein Vafai continues. He'll play Judd Trump.
35.
And Jussa, the latest player to have beaten Ding in a tournament and lost in the next round. It's happened in every tournament this season.
Yeah, I mean, Sousa was 52 in front in that frame, that last frame as well. Just wondering whether, that's a big call, but whether Hossain's name might be on it this week. Things are working out for him. Not only, as Dave said, has he got in the event, but how he's won both of those matches, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, Jimmy Robertson furious that he's finished there, and of course the yellow where it is means just punch it round of 2 cushions. It's not easy with the yellow there. It's in the way. So to get a red out, I don't quite know what the path is to the reds. Screwing it, I think. Yeah, the yellow was totally in the way. Has he snookered himself?
41. Foul and a miss.
Well, I think
Jimmy Robertson, 41.
he'll be fully aware that against the man he's playing, that 54-point lead might not count for a lot. Selby won't have given this frame up yet, although he's got no putt available. I think he's all right there. It didn't look great when he first hit it, but Selby can't get to the red to middle. Well, again, he's looking at a little plant here and maybe not leaving anything. Although I don't think he can be sure of the second part of that. Difficult shot to middle this. Well, it's not much he can do, and of course, if there was nothing in this in points, there's some potential for a re-rack situation with the red near middle, but clearly Robertson, 54 in front, will do everything he can to avoid that. Because I don't think Selby's going to take any undue risks here. Selby setting the frame up for a counter-attack, leaving a tempting red to left middle, which Jimmy Robertson will not want to be playing, because it's difficult and the damage could be extensive if he were to miss. Well, he's worried. He has put the left-hand red safe, and that will be some consolation. But all the others, as you can see, very exposed here. The next red going in could bring Selby right back into the frame.
One.
I'm sure Selby already has got his sights set on that left-hand red, which is going to be maybe the most important ball of the frame now. I'm down by that left cushion. Yes, he can score quite a few in getting to that red.
Six.
Well, breathe in. It would be a bit of a blow, wouldn't it? Robertson was in control, he was playing well.
12. Thirteen. Eighteen.
Yeah, look, you might be able to screw onto that red here. Didn't want to play it though.
19.
He definitely looked at the possibility of that, but of course, even if he gets the cannon, the cube was probably ending up on that left cushion with no colour that's easy.
$26.
Well, now he's looking at maybe swinging the cue ball round of two cushions here and making contact with the red, and definitely what he's looking at. He's going to be very accurate if you're going to move this red out off the red here. He's played it. It's a great effort, but he also
27.
knew that he'd be on the black. He might have the same sort of a shot here, around 2 cushions. He's looking at it. Great effort. Unlucky. He almost got a bit of a guide from the previous shot. It was a
34.
different shot, but it was kind of, you know, in some ways, the same line. Now, is he playing the double? Doesn't always go for that sort of shot. I think Higgins would have done. Selby's got a different plan, and the double's one thing, but if you know you can get a snooker from there, then you probably would always play it. And all of a sudden, 20-point lead for Jimmy Robertson doesn't seem much in the snooker.
Oh, that last kiss was golden for Jimmy Robertson. Red, because he easily been left.
Well, that was not part of the plan, and a serious mistake, actually, wasn't it? He put a lot into getting the cue ball across there and the brown and yellow to help him, but the bump of the middle pocket has totally changed things. Now then, Jimmy, pop this and trying to avoid hitting the pink here. Oh, goodness me, he's potted the pink, I think.
Foul. Selby, 6.
I think what was on his mind there was he couldn't really do much with the cue ball. All of a sudden it changes your perspective. But, you know, Selby won't make that many mistakes of that kind, and he hasn't capitalised on it.
You could hear the applause next door there, just about to start. It's a late start, 10 to 11 local time in this night's session. And all Chinese affair, Zhao Guodong, the Wuhan Open champion this season, and the surprise winner of the Scottish Open, Lei Pei Fan.
Well, he don't want to lay on top of the yellow, and that means he's probably, I mean, he could maybe be able to reach across and play the yellow and the yellow again. The other alternative would be the blue, but he's already decided that he's going to play the yellow.
3. Five.
Surely this is it. This shot really, I mean, if it goes into the left corner of this green, it's hard to see how he wouldn't put all the rest of the balls he needs. He was a long way behind in this frame.
Superb.
8.
Yeah. Jimmy Robertson was certainly in control and had that chance at the red to middle as well, but Selby the favourite now, for sure. To lead 2-1. He's just such a master at winning these crunch frames, isn't he? How many has he won down the years? Pink it is for a 2-1 lead.
17.
Well, it's a crushing blow, that, for Jimmy
23.
Robertson. Mark Selby doing what he does, winning key frames. And he leads here 2-1, with 4 the target, remember, for a place in the last 8. As Mark Selby gets frame 4 underway, leading 2-1.
Very close, just hit the top jaw. If he could have played it with any less pace, I think he would have seen it drop in. Measured safety shot there again from Selby. I mean, really, Jimmy Robertson, he certainly should have won the last frame. First frame, he was in front. He tried to roll up behind the green, didn't make it to the green, and snookered himself, put back in. But the last frame would have been painful to lose that. 58 in front. Oh dear. You kind of know your fate on that shot, really, that it's unlikely you're going to get the cue ball out of there. It's not so much difficult to hit a colour here. It's got to be careful you don't leave something on. The yellow won't leave anything on, but he's not hit it first time, so he'll be
foul and a miss.
Asked to
Selby.
Get the feeling, play again.
Jimmy Robertson, 1.
Thinking that it will go back.
Queenie Lyu from China, a referee.
Okay. Brown.
Changed his mind, trying the brown this time. Different line into the shot. Yeah, probably a better plan than the first one.
Lepe Fan, pretty quick fire opening frame from him, an 81 break to lead 1-0 against Jagu Dong on table 2.
Red spread all over the place down the right side. I mean, there is already can get to on the left side, but I think he'd be worried about pushing that red over close to the right corner. So this is a very delicate little safety exchange in which Jimmy Robertson cannot afford to lose it again. Still in this match at 2-1 down. It's just the way that he's losing by that scoreline when he should be in front. Little fortunate there, Selby, pushing that red close to the right corner, but, you know, the black on top of it. It looks to me that this is not an easy safety shot that Jimmy Robertson is faced with. Playing a thin contact on this red, it can go wrong. Did not want that kiss, but it might not be. They'd left an easy one. Desperate to get past the blue, wasn't he? You could see it by his body movement. Good shot. I suppose a bit unfortunate to be on top of the red. Deciding to go on the offensive there in the absence, I think, of any real safety shot. Just queuing awkwardly on this. It's all about the queuing, isn't it? And he's furious. I don't know if yesterday at the point where he was 3-2 down, his cue went on the floor. We don't quite know whether he dropped it, but it seems a bit of coincidence. It was at a very frustrating moment when he did fall on the floor. I mean, there you see his annoyance as well.
Yeah, he sort of raps the table, not punches it, but you don't often see that from Selby. It wasn't clear. Dominic didn't think he'd thrown it on the floor, but we didn't see it clearly. It seemed to go down sharpish. And like you say, it was the moment when it did hit the carpet. Just sensing there, Selby, clearly that he was on top. It was a good chance to really press home his advantage.
It's a pretty big shot, this one, isn't it? If he can get this round the angle, he's got this extension on the cue. He's got to do something with the cue ball here. Oh, if he's on that bottom red, that's dreamland, because this really was the red to land on. To free the black. I know it won't necessarily be easy to pot where it's respotted, but that pocket has been blocked off for so many balls with those two balls there. Now he can pop the red. I'm sure he must take the black straight after. As I say, even if it ends up there, he could pop the black and go into a number of balls as well and clear the decks there. But he can make things happen at this visit. Well, it's not bad, is it? I mean, there's not a simple next red, but if he can roll the red to middle, you know, really, it's worked out well, I think.
13.
Just all about the next shot.
$14. $17. $18.
Jimmy Robertson won the English Amateur Championship in 2009. It's actually snooker's longest running tournament, preceding the World Professional Championship, first staged 1916, won last year by Stephen Hallworth, one of our colleagues. And I remember Stephen saying he got the trophy
21.
home and was looking at all the names, the great names on it, the Reardons and Spencers and all those guys. Very proud to be on the Roll of Honour.
Yeah, I mean, it always used to be the route into becoming a professional. You know, there weren't many ways to do so. There was invariably a panel of people who were also players who would, decide they would be professional. But the English amateur champion had a very good chance of being one of those players.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, you know, how it used to operate, basically. Do we want to invite you in to potentially
22.
beat us or not? That's kind of how it was, wasn't it? But anyway, of course, snooker became big very suddenly, and the administration has changed over the years. Of course, the Q School will be one route on for players after the World Championship this year.
$28. $29.
As you saw from that low camera angle, both reds are available very conveniently. It's good stuff from Jimmy Robertson, this.
36.
He's got to try and shrug off the disappointment of the previous frame, but he seems to be doing so.
$37. $43. $44.
So, in a position of strength for a second frame running, but of course he didn't win the last one.
$50.
Well, he's overhit by a long way.
51.
The worst possible moment. If he's straight on the pink, then really it's hard to think that he wouldn't win the frame there, but he just completely loses concentration for a shot. Now he's going to have to recover things. It's going so well until that last shot. Really good. Still not an easy next red. And he'll need one more pot from here. The red
57.
below the black to the left corner, or the straightish one to an acute middle pocket from there. Frame ball, either one. Very good from Jimmy Robertson. Didn't let himself get disappointed about losing position. Didn't get over downcast about losing the last frame. He's banging this match. He's playing well. Clearly on that result yesterday. You know, he's beaten Mark Allen yesterday.
Yeah, and I think significantly as well, apart
60.
from obviously winning the frame, he's seen Selby react to missing that pink. He was slightly awkward on it. Gave the table a bit of a rap. And has been forced to
61.
watch Jimmy Robertson punish him. Well and truly over the line here. you would think.
67.
Yeah, good break after what happened in the last frame.
Jimmy Robertson, 67. And the frame.
No way back for Mark Selby. So he's got to get over his own frustration there. And another thriller. Of course, he came through at a decider yesterday against Jackson Page. And here, a possible 3 frames to play. They're all square at 2-2. 2-2. A bit of a thriller here. Last match on table 1 in the last 16 of the World Grand Prix. Mark Selby and Jimmy Robertson.
Frame 5. Jimmy Robertson to break.
If you are just joining us, Jimmy Robertson has never beaten Mark Selby. It's 10-0 on the head-to-head to Selby. But he showed good resolve there. He arguably should have won the 3rd frame himself. He didn't, but he won the 4th after Mark Selby missed that ping and was visibly frustrated at doing so. So just to confirm the lineup as it stands in the quarterfinals, Judd Trump will play Hossein Vafai. Sean Murphy will play John Higgins. That's in the other half of the draw. Stuart Bingham plays the winner of this match, and Neal Robertson plays Xiao Guodong or Lei Pei Fan. It's 1-0 to Lei Pei Fan there. Mark Selby attempting to become the 6th world champion to reach the quarterfinals.
Foul and a miss. Mark Selby, 4. Back.
There's the thinnest of edges you're looking for here. Yeah, beautiful this time around. In fact, this is actually very likely in behind the yellow, I think. Not quite the line. Still well played. Yeah, I think with Jimmy Robertson, he can handle himself in a safety game all right. He's a really good player. But I think he has to stay aggressive, I think, against Mark Selby. Selby might try and sort of take his sharpness away. A long safety battle would suit Selby, not Robertson. Don't forget, he's never beaten him in his career, Jimmy Robertson. He's never beaten Selby. But I think he's playing well enough to do it here. This is a lovely shot again. Leaving a red, but it's really awkward. Well, he puts his hand up because he's been lucky. It was a safety error which might go unpunished. I kind of said that he doesn't want to get involved in a safety battle, but actually he's holding his own and some in this exchange. Is Jimmy Robertson against one of the best tacticians we've ever seen in the game. Not getting anything out of it, but that's not through lack of effort.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy Robertson, 4. Back.
Well, it was pretty good. A nice little nudge at the end of a good shot. And now this time, Jimmy Robertson looks in quite a lot of trouble here. Can get to Reds, yes, but how can he get to Reds to put distance between them? He wants to get the key ball back to where it is now. This looks pretty nasty as well. You know what his intentions were. He's not quite got there. That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of exchange that Mark Selby, he won't particularly look for, but he won't mind it. Just hoping it'll take the sting out of Jimmy Robertson. The way he's been playing, he's been scoring well, but after a long safety exchange, maybe next chance won't be so easy for him.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's late at night now. It's 11:30 local time, but that never seems to bother Mark Selby along the way at the Welsh Open. You might remember that Elliott Slessor match, 4-3, finished after 1 in the morning. I mean, it started late. It wasn't their fault they went on late, but his concentration never seemed to waver, regardless of how late it was. Seen that, haven't we? A couple of the world titles he's won. He's been involved in very late finishes, particularly the first one when he beat Neal Robertson, and still managed to turn it round on the last day of the final against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
again, not much in the way of attacking intent here. I mean, he could go for this red into the right corner, but you know, I don't think Selby's going to be crashing into a load of reds at this stage, taking any risks.
Yeah, Selby just acknowledging he got a nice edge of that red, didn't he? Real battle within a battle here in this frame. By the way, the last time Mark Selby won 3 ranking titles in a season was 2020, 2021. Of course, he's trying to do that, having won the British and Welsh Opens this campaign. But we're a long way off the final. This is, as I say, a real tussle here in this last 16 match.
Well, they've been playing about 12.5 minutes this frame and they haven't potted a ball yet. It's got a long hold, isn't it, before they start their sort of attacking intent in this frame. But the safety has been good.
Yeah, and he can play a tactical frame, Jimmy Robertson. He holds a rather strange record, doesn't he? The most points scored in a single frame, 178. At the Scottish Open against Lee Walker 2021. Now, obviously, it goes without saying, there were plenty of fouls in that. Not a record I think he particularly would want, but the fact is he holds it.
When he puts side on the ball, Jimmy Robertson, he really does aim to, you know, an extreme side of it, doesn't he? I've noticed that. And most players, they don't really, you can't always tell what they're doing, but he's almost aiming to miss the ball. He's trying to get absolutely loads of side on the ball on shots. And sometimes under these conditions, it's quite hard to do that. But he whipped the cue ball around the angle so well there with right-hand side. And this is turning into a real battle, this frame now. And that's after at least 15 minutes of playing time. The first ball potted. The other 2 4-point were both fouls. Unfortunately for Jimmy Robertson, he's finished on top of the black. So even if he does roll in this pink, it's hard to think he's going to make many more from here. He couldn't do anything with that. He may play the red to middle, but it's quite a narrow angle to that left middle.
7.
Yeah, at that speed, he would have had to been
Robertson,
incredibly accurate to pop that. So not a great deal happening yet.
No, and whoever does get in, it's going to be a case of you're going to have to get balls into play because they've all sort of gone into little clusters, and that's what you get after protracted safety. It's 2-0 now. Lepe Fan against Zhao Guodong on table 2. One thing Jimmy Robertson is aware of is that Mark Selby has got all the patience in the world, and he has to match that.
One.
Well, it's a good pot, to be honest. He deserves something to happen, and he got lucky, but I honestly think that those couple of kisses, unless you're Mark Selby, you wouldn't deny him, because he's actually trying to make something happen out there.
Seven.
Well, it's only a small contribution, but it's really excellent how hard he's battling, I think. Jimmy Robertson, not something you necessarily associate with him. As Dave said, he knows how to play safe, but he's an attacking player by nature. And he's really trying his best to open the balls up. Is he on something to the left corner? There could be a gap through to that red.
13.
Maybe not. It's close. Well, I don't know. Seeing that, what do you think? It's maybe a trace of right-hand side on it. So widen the angle a bit. Good shot. Very good, this.
14.
It's only a small break, but it's a bit of a gem, isn't it, in the sort of heat of battle. 15 minutes with a red being potted. And got in a couple of times since then. He can build up a handy lead here.
19.
Yes, it's only 19. It feels like about 60.
The thing is, Dave, with if he can get 2 or 3 more reds and colours, the other reds are completely nailed, aren't they? So that's a big lead, I think.
Jimmy Robertson actually owns a snooker club in Hastings, so I suppose he is used to a battle.
He won't be very pleased if the black goes on the spot here, I get the feeling it might do, and it'd be disappointing end to this break if it does. Yeah, that's scuppered everything.
27.
He tried to hold the spot and didn't manage it. The black would have had to go up the table. He'd been on the other red, and he'd been away in the frame. This red to middle, queuing over the top of 2 or 3 balls, is very difficult. Still,
Jimmy Robertson, 27.
It was a good little break, and it's given him a distinct advantage in this frame. Attempting to get a couple of reds out into the open, of course, which he will need, I guess, more so than Jimmy. Well, he's been unlucky because he does play that shot very well, swinging the cue ball wide, and it's a bit unfortunate to crash into the blue, but it does kind of break the stalemate a little, because Selby will either pot this and get back into the frame or miss it and potentially lose the frame. There's a lot resting on this next shot.
One.
Yeah, he's not finished great, has he, on his colour there? I don't know if he had any way of holding for the pink. He was very keen to get the cue ball down the other end, but really, And with this green, he'll do well to miss the yellow here. Might just be able to screw it round there, but he did clip the yellow. So he lost control of the shot, really.
4.
What a great shot, yeah.
5.
And he didn't know that he was going to finish him behind that ball. But now he really can make inroads into that deficit.
Eleven. Twelve. Eighteen. Nineteen. Twenty-six. 27.
Beautiful shot, that half-ball cannon to develop one of the reds, which he was not favoured in the frame
34.
where the balls were with Jimmy Robertson's lead, but I think he is now. Wants to get a high angle on this black, however,
5.
to either play on the right-hand red or maybe to screw into the other 3 reds here, try and develop them. Well, he didn't hold back. That's brilliant. Ever such a well-played shot, that.
Absolutely. This frame was in complete lockdown,
42.
wasn't it? Or so it seemed. Mark Selby kept his focus and has made his move. It was a long time in the frame before anything was potted.
43.
Jimmy Robertson got in, but when Selby came to the table, there was a lot of work to do, and he's just very patiently gone about his business here.
$50. 51.
Well, I mean, whatever happens, he does need to pot the red down the cushion. The red in the close to the middle pocket will not be enough. So this is the shot. And they've been good down the cushions. They're going in, not quite so easily as they did last week in Yushan, the World Open. If you don't hit these right, I think they'd stay out. So this is the last possible thing you feel that could happen. The fact that it's touching the cushion usually means it's a help. They tend to hug the cushion on that shot when they're
59.
already on it. But he played it gently, which means he's now short on this black, which has just been dropping in, hoping, well, he may just play a little drag shot, but not resting on it. He's done well. He had that red to left corner. I said at the time he'd either going to get back into the frame
66.
or it will cost him, and he played it quite well. Then he had a red to middle, which was awkward. The rest has been superb.
67.
Really has. I mean, he's actually enough on for a century. If you'd have seen the balls when the break began, it didn't look likely. Either way, he's won the frame.
Yeah, it's not exactly finished nicely on this. Tough little shot, this.
Well, it's a fine 74, isn't it?
74.
Considering the frame was going nowhere. Mark Selby found a way in, he stayed in, and he's a frame now from a 100th ranking event quarter-final appearance. He leads Jimmy Robertson 3-2.
Frame 6. Mark Selby to break.
Well, Mark Selby made a terrific break there to take the lead here. 3-2, 4 minutes to midnight. He gets what he hopes is the last frame underway to set up a meeting with Stuart Bingham here tomorrow night. Wow, that was delicate. Jimmy Robertson in that position, of course, 3-2 down, knowing that at any point his next shot could be his last one, so he'll be doubly vigilant here. Century from Xiaogu Dong on table 2, so it's 2-1 to Lei Pei Fan there. Of course, they had a long wait to start with the same for fine. Zhu Se going the distance.
Yeah, he obviously played in behind the yellow there, but he's not that costly, I don't think. There might be the thinnest shot to nothing red here, but even then, not necessarily very damaging. Could do with an early chance, I think, that's not like the last frame, Jimmy Robertson. And if he could get this match to level, of course he could then win. The last break by Selby, though, the 74 was out of the top draw, quite honestly, the way he made it.
Well, it's now officially Friday. It's midnight. Mark Selby, no stranger to a late night battle. And indeed a late night victory.
He's playing a nice shot here, isn't he? Great line. And great length. He feels he could just get to the left side of the table past the pink to hit a red. And again, sending the cue ball, I think, into the corner where he is now. Oh, he's hit too much of it, but he's okay, I think. He leapt up as if he'd hit a bit more of the red than he wanted to, but not really doing any damage. Now, will Jimmy Robertson be forced into a pot here? He may be better off trying something. If you make a mistake on a difficult safety, you may as well have, I guess, taken on the attacking option if there is one. Clearly these two reds are possible. But even if he wasn't on the back of another safety battle, there wouldn't be easy shots. They're definitely easy now. He is. I think he's taking one on. Oh, brilliant. Terrific shot after all of that.
One.
You know, sometimes players are forced into going for a ball. They don't really want to, but there's no other option. And that was one of those instances, I think. Handy also that he pushed that other red close to the pocket, because it wouldn't be easy otherwise to get onto a colour from here. Or onto a red from this colour, I should say. What a chance this is. I mean, the black is not on its spot, but it will go to the right corner. If you can just hold, all of a sudden, Selby, having played a good safety battle again, has left that chance. He's under pressure. Oh, no. Wow, that's unbelievable.
Jimmy Robertson, 4.
That is unbelievable. What a miss.
Yeah, and I was looking at Mark Selby there, frowning away, looking concerned. Not now. He's got a chance to potentially win the match.
One. Eight. Nine.
Well, the pink's more difficult than the blue, but it offers better position.
15.
Well, it has to be said that it's an opportunity to win the match. I don't know whether Jimmy Robertson felt the ball rolled off or maybe put side on it. The one that he missed was a bad miss. He's queuing a little awkwardly, but he leapt up in the air almost immediately as if he knew something wasn't right about it.
$21.
Selby will be playing, no doubt, with the extended rest, if he can reach maybe the extension on the cue, anything to get to this ball. Black to the opposite corner after it.
Is Jimmy Robertson going to get another chance to stop Mark Selby extending the record against him to 11 wins to 0?
Well, can't believe he's on it. He must be tight if he is. The body language will usually tell you. Well, that's quite a serious mistake from there. Then that cube will just run in towards the red. So I think the answer is he will come back to the table pretty soon.
Green. Mark Selby, 22.
Selby will be quite annoyed that he didn't go on and make more from that last visit when he got stuck in behind the red and not able to pot the black. He looked like he was set fair there. Oh, this is pacey again. Robertson might be inclined to have a dart at a red to that right corner. No, looks like he's refusing it, playing the red on the black spot. Problem he's got, of course, is so hard to outwit Mark Selby in this kind of exchange.
Yeah, I mean, he's just always thinking, isn't he? You know, even in a long match, even late at night, as it is here now, 10 past midnight. Remarkable abilities to just focus on each moment in each match. Well, he doesn't really like anything here, but I suppose he could try and get the cue ball up into the top right pocket, push the red back down the table. This might be all he sees as the next shot. Played it well.
Sure. One.
Brilliant. So again, Selby coming out of that exchange on top. Jimmy Robertson looking up to the heavens, annoyed. Maybe at the way the whole match has developed, not so much that little battle, because it was a brilliant red from Selby. No getting away from that. You know, he's been a real thorn in his side his whole career.
3.
Mark Selby, Jimmy Robertson, as we said earlier, has not beaten him. But he kind of played really well tonight, Robertson. Missed one or two very important balls.
Four.
Is there to be another chance come his way? Because Selby now is starting to, I think, see the winning line here. Red's in the middle of the table. They'll all take him way over the line if he can pot them one by one.
Yes, and he has played better than yesterday. It was a struggle against Jackson Page, who I think will be very disappointed not to have got the win. But now Mark Selby's got round one out the way. It becomes even more dangerous. He started with a century, made that wonderful 74 in the last frame from an unlikely starting position. He's battled away in the safety stakes, as you would expect. And has got in here with a good long red.
9.
I think he has a choice of reds here. That was a good shot. Well, certainly the top one goes. I'm not so sure whether the second one does now. From that angle, no, I don't think it does.
Looks like 2-2 next door. Zhao Gudong made 117. He's currently on a break of 74 against Lei Pei Fan. So doing well from 2-0 down. And that will continue, by the way, through to a conclusion on Discovery Plus. So concern for Jimmy Robertson. Out of his hands, obviously, right now.
And he keeps looking at that top red to the right corner. We saw it earlier. It looks very tight if it goes at all. So he may have to play into them instead. It's not worked out great. I mean, it's a good split, but as we can see, there's not a red on. The one down the cushion, I don't believe he'll be playing that one. And knowing Selby, if he had to play safe, he wouldn't want to move the red off the left cushion either. He likes to nail everything to cushions where he can. So it'll be something in the middle of the table. A valuable lead of 39 points.
Selby, 21.
Well, a bit close for comfort, to say the least, but it's left it awkward now. Just as Jimmy Robertson prepares himself, back-to-back centuries for Zhao Gudong, 2-2 with Lei Pei Fan. .39 in front. Mark Selby looking maybe for one more visit here to get this one.
Well, this looks very good, doesn't it? That's a brilliant shot. I'm seeing it again. I wonder, did he actually get a double kiss on that? And he played it off the cushion. If so, cancel it being a brilliant shot, but either way, he's still behind the brown. No, I don't think it was a double kiss, looking back at the shot. So well played, Jimmy. And he's brought about this, well, a half chance, if nothing else, from that last terrific safety. But that lead of 39 points that Selby's got, he's going to do well to peg that back, I think.
Now he'll be very concerned. Double kiss leaves a chance at the red. Mark Selby with another opportunity to get this one.
Yeah, it was quite difficult, wasn't it? He was, you know, forcing it around 2 cushions.
1.
That's a good shot. Yeah, Selby has a long backswing, and you know you do well
6.
to get the work on the ball when you bring the cue back so far. But he timed it delightfully. And he's developed the other end. That's another good
7.
effort.
Yeah, so 46 in front, 53 with the black, and the red he's brought into play will be match ball. Barring snookers. The break he made in the last frame, you know, when he came to the table, it looked very unlikely it was going to be a frame-winning chance, but he just manoeuvred things so well. Whatever hour of the day it is, and right now it's 20 past midnight, Mark Selby just keeps his focus and his determination. Such a clever player. So this, barring snookers, is for victory. And Mark Selby will be through to a landmark 100th
15.
ranking event quarter-final, as indeed will Judd Trump. I know not everybody finds those stats interesting, but in sport, we assess a player's stature by measuring them against the greats. And the only other players to have been in at least 100 quarter-finals in ranking events are John Higgins, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Hendry and Mark Williams. It's good company to be in.
Selby, 22.
He's got to carry on, really, hasn't he? I mean, it's 10 points he's got to make up. The balls are quite nice, but, you know, come all this way. Whether it's a little bit half-hearted here, he doesn't really want to do this, but he's obliged almost to carry on.
Touching ball.
Well, he had touching ball there, and he's judged it to perfection to, if he wasn't in enough trouble, put Jimmy Robertson behind the pink. Oh, brilliant.
1.
losing a couple of points if he plays the blue, but, you know, just trying to give himself this faint hope, I guess. Oh, maybe the hope was all gone. I think that's it.
Yeah, couldn't afford to miss the blue. So Mark Selby gets the job done at 25 minutes past midnight. He played a couple of good frames there from 2-2. And Mark Selby will appear in his 100th ranking event quarter-final. He'll take on Stuart Bingham on Friday. He's beaten Jimmy Robertson 4-2.